left wing, right in a shot. He scores! Brett Hall! Down to Brett Hall, back to Brindamore. To Brown to drive. He scores! Jeff Brown! By one hand, across the lead point and drive. He scores!
St. Louis Blues hockey is brought to you by Busch Beer. Head for the mountains of Busch. By Southwest Airlines, providing frequent flights and low unrestricted fares to many exciting destinations. By your Midwest GMC truck dealers, Bellman, Bomarito, and Brooklyn GMC. By your local McDonald's restaurants. We're your favorites for food, folks, and fun. By Shop and Save. The more you shop, the more you save. By AutoZone, the best part in auto parts. Hardee's, all kinds of good stuff.
And by your Missouri, Illinois Dodge dealers. Come see what's new for 91 at your nearby Dodge dealer.
The scene is Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Tonight, the first of 8 regular season meetings between the St. Louis Blues and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Canada. Along with John Kelly, I'm Ken Wilson. We're happy to be at Maple Leaf Gardens tonight and happy to be able to talk about the Blues being undefeated in their last 3 games. Victories out at Edmonton and Calgary, then the tie Saturday night at home against Minnesota. Things are going well for Brian Sutter's team. The difference, of course, between the two teams is, John Kelly, things are not going well for Doug Carpenter's club.
No, it's like night and day. The Leafs have been up and down, but mainly down this year. They got their first win this past weekend. They beat Chicago 6-2, and everyone here in Toronto thought, well, we're over the hump. Monday night in New York, they lose 5-1 and played very poorly.
So they have only the 1 victory. You look at their point total of 3, the lowest point total, John, in the National Hockey League.
And don't forget, the team that finishes last overall this year gets a crack at Eric Lindros, the next superstar in the NHL. He's playing junior hockey this year, but the catch is, if Toronto finishes last, they don't have their first pick. They traded it last year to New Jersey for Tom Kerber. So even if the Leafs finish last, there's no rainbow at the end of the tunnel.
It's not hard to remember what happened last season between these two teams. The Blues lost 7 of 8 to Toronto. They lost all 4 they played at Maple Leaf Gardens, then turned it around in the playoffs.
And if you ask Brian Sutter why, they did the little things right in the playoffs. They back-checked, they forechecked, they killed penalties. The little things made the difference in the playoffs. And I think overall, they shut down Toronto's big line of Olczyk, Osborne, and Lehman in the playoffs.
Look what happened last season. The 4 leading scorers against the Blues were Olczyk, Iafrate, Osborne, and Lehman. A lot of Leafs had career seasons.
They did, and this year they're having dismal seasons. Olczyk has 1 goal. Iafrate, coming off knee surgery, has no goals. Osborne and Lehman have 1 goal apiece, and Lehman had 51 goals last year. And there is a lot of problems in Toronto. They've scored only 20 goals this year, so they are not putting the puck in the net.
Yeah, you talk about goals. Not only are the Leafs not scoring, the Blues really are not scoring that many goals either. They have only 21 goals, and if you look at Hall and Courtnall, they have 12 of the 21. Tonight, it'll be Curtis Joseph in goal for the Blues. Peter Ing, who has never faced the Blues, will be in goal for the Maple Leafs. We're just about set to go. The Blues and the Leafs coming up from Toronto. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Is 23-year-old Curtis Joseph. He's a native of Newmarket, Ontario, about 30 miles north of here, and he grew up idolizing the Leafs. He's 1-1 this year with a 3.50 average. At the other end is a rookie from Toronto, Peter Ing. In 4 games this year, Ing is 1-3. We're set to go, and here is Ken Wilson with the first period.
All right, John Kelly, and the Blues are offside as they win the faceoff and a pass from their own zone out over the center checkered red line. The captain of the Leafs, under Doug Carpenter, is former Blues defenseman Rob Ramage. Doug Carpenter under a lot of pressure here in Toronto. This is a very key 2-game series for he and the Leafs. Here tonight, tomorrow night at the arena in St. Louis. He has Hannon with Clark and McGuire up front. Ramage is on defense with young Luke Richardson. Meanwhile, Brian Sutter's Blues trying to have a different regular season against the Leafs this season compared to a year ago. And he has Rod Brindamore centering these 2 big scorers, Jeff Courtnall and Brett Hall, with Scott Stevens and Jeff Brown on defense. And the faceoff coming up just inside the St. Louis blue line. Brindamore against Hannon, and the Blues win the draw. And here's the Blues captain, Scott Stevens, to center ice. A high pass eludes Brindamore. Ing into the corner, plays the puck up the boards. Brown pinches in at the right point, is checked by Hannon. The puck goes high in the air, comes down as Hannon goes down on a Gino Cavallini check, and then Francis Getty comes back and decks Cavallini. Here's Hannon at center ice to Clark over the St. Louis line, and it is offside Toronto, and Paul Cavallini and Luke Francis Getty get in a scrap right in front of Curtis Joseph, and Francis Getty wrestles Paul Cavallini to the ice. Paul Cavallini was checked. I may have said Gino earlier. It was Paul Cavallini who threw a big check, and then Francis Getty came across the ice and drilled him, and we've got a lot of action in the first 28 seconds.
Well, I believe it was Gino.
It was Gino. I'm sorry. Gino Cavallini on the play, and finally they split up the pair, but Gino getting in quite a scrap and throwing his weight around.
And he'll go to the box along with Francis Getty. It all began back in the Leaf zone when Dave Hannon was really run over. That could have been called charging, my friends, as Gino took about 2 steps. And then Francis Getty came in and leveled Gino Cavallini. The players skated down the ice, and after the Leafs went offside, that's when they became involved again. But Gino, a native of Toronto, began things with that hit, and they both get 5-minute majors for fighting. Not in the lineup tonight for the Blues is Paul McLean. He's back in St. Louis with an elbow injury, so he is scratched. Paul McLean out of the lineup. On that hit, Ken, Gino was belted so hard he lost his helmet, and then he came back in the zone, and he and Francis Getty had more than a wrestling match than anything else.
So Gino Cavallini, who had just come on the line with Brindamore and Hall, gets in a scrap. Now his brother Paul is on the ice on defense and has the puck behind the Blues net. Both teams remain at full strength. Pass up to Courtnall with Sutter and Oates now. Jeff Courtnall over the line, drops it for Oates in the slot, and a pass in the left wing behind Sutter. It comes out of the corner in front, but there's a mix-up. Brad Marsh involved with the Blues' Rich Sutter, and referee Paul Stewart was going to call a penalty, and then the players mix it up again. Spirited action, to say the least, to begin things here at Maple Leaf Gardens. Al Iafrate, number 33 of the Leafs, in the middle of things also. He is just back after serious knee surgery last spring. Here's the mix-up after the poor pass by Oates.
Rich Sutter went to the net, and he and Iafrate got involved. They both go to the box. Iafrate is coming off major knee surgery. Remember, he missed the entire playoff last year. He injured his knee with about 5 games to go in the regular season. Missed the entire preseason and is now just rounding into form. But the Leafs are an entirely different team without Al Iafrate, who had 21 goals last year and 63 points. He is the quarterback on the power play, and really the only man who's capable of consistently getting the puck out of Toronto's end.
Iafrate gets the roughing penalty. Rich Sutter a tripping penalty, and it's coincidental penalties. Both teams will remain at full strength. You can always read that intensity on the face of 34-year-old coach Brian Sutter, and tonight is no different than any other night. The face-off in front of the Leafs bench. Ron Wilson against Gilles Thibodeau of the Leafs, and the Blues have it. Paul Cavallini over the line, dumped by Richardson, sends the puck behind the Leafs net, and Darren Veach, just up from the American Hockey League, can't move the puck out. It's kept in, goes high in the air over the glass, and ends up in the Maple Leaf Gardens crowd, and we are just at the 62-second mark of the opening period. And John Kelly, it's happy birthday tonight for Harold Snepps.
36 today, the second oldest player on the Blues. That's taking into consideration that Rick Mahar is nearly 37. Mahar will be 37 on November 2nd. He's on the trip, but not in the lineup, of course. He's a couple of weeks away from skating.
Leafs to center ice. Richardson left wing for Dom Foose. He's slowed up along the boards. The puck tipped loose to Momesso with Ronning and Lowry. Long shot over the net, comes off the glass in front. Luke Richardson plays it into the corner for Toronto. Up for Dom Foose. At center ice to Thibodeau, the former Islander and Canadian. Now over the line to Marois. His drop pass poked away, and here are the Blues 4-on-2 back. It's Paul Cavallini, left wing for Momesso, too far into the corner. He and Beach heavily to the boards. And then Beach knocked down by Momesso, who centers. Lowry can't get a shot. Ronnie tips it to Featherstone. His drive is deflected over the net and off the glass. And here's Toronto back the other way. Vincent Damphousse, in his 5th season with the Leafs, tries to split the defense and can't, as he is handled by Mario Marois. Then Featherstone loses the puck to the Leafs. Dan Marois, and then gets it back and tips it to center ice, where Toronto shoots it right back in. No score early in the first period. Both teams changing here in Toronto. Mario Marois for the Blues. Right wing for Brind'Amour at center ice on the left side for Bassett. Bassett cutting in a shotting the save from a poor angle. Loose puck. Hull tries to center, is unable to. Now the puck loose in the corner, and Toronto trying to come up with it. And they do. It's played by Drake Berehowski, the 18-year-old. He can't get it out. Hull sends it right in front of the net, and the Leafs intercept. And then Clark, a poor pass, broken up in the neutral zone. Blues, Hull over the line, cutting in the left wing, a shot, he scores! Brett Hull on a broken play. The Leafs sloppy, coming out of their own zone, and the Blues get the puck to Brett Hull. And Hull does it again. He's off to another brilliant start, and Brett Hull has his 8th goal of the season.
When you get Brett Hull open ice, especially nearly a breakaway in on left wing, he doesn't miss that often. And Brett Hull gets his 8th of the year, ties Mike Gartner for the league lead. Bob Bassett and Brind'Amour will get the assist. Hull gets number 8 at 2:39, and the Blues are up 1-0.
And the Blues have the puck at center ice again. Jeff Courtnall shoots it in. Ing out of the net behind the goal. Plays it up the boards. Oates intercepts. Kept in at the point by Stevens. Now Lehman intercepts. Breaks out for Toronto. And he's stopped at the St. Louis line. Oates at the center red line. Loses the puck. Gets it back. Carries it in. But it's offside as Jeff Courtnall was in over the blue line ahead of the puck. The Blues lead the Maple Leafs 1-0. This is St. Louis Blues hockey. That Blues goal again. Hull from Bassett and Brind'Amour early here in the first period.
Hull had 5 goals against Toronto in the playoffs last year and 34 shots, and the Leafs did a terrible job of checking him in the playoffs.
Jeff Brown whistles a shot wide. Leafs try to come out of their own end. Get to center ice with the puck. McIntyre, he gets it to Reed. He's stopped, and the Blues take over in their own end. Jeff Brown over to Captain Scott Stevens at center ice. A feed behind Oates, goes the length of the ice. There's no icing. Iafrate behind the net, run into by Lowry, and the Leafs in their own zone. Brad March ahead to McIntyre over the Blues line. He can't get around Paul Cavallini. Oates turns the puck to Lowry, and he's stood up by March. Iafrate for Toronto back in his own end. Up to John McIntyre. He's on with McGuire and Reed in over the line, ridden to the boards by Sutter. Now Sneps comes in with McGuire in the corner. The 4 players battle for the puck deep in the St. Louis end, and Paul Cavallini ends up with it. Blues are up 1-0. Paul Cavallini checked, but the puck poked away by Joseph from Reed. Blues having trouble getting out. Clear the puck to center ice. It's tipped back in, and as Reed touches it, Toronto is offside. This first period now 4 minutes 3 seconds old.
Captain Rod Ramage played over 400 games as a member of the Blues a couple of years ago. He's off to a pretty good start. Has 2 goals and 3 assists so far on the power play. And Ramage is not taking this slow start very easily. He's a winner, a very competitive person. Yesterday in practice, Ramage had a long talk with Gary Lehman, the Leafs' 50-goal scorer last year, and harsh words were exchanged. And Ramage trying to shake his teammates up and get them to break out of this slump.
All has not been roses and baby's breath with this Leafs team for a few years, and there's a lot of turmoil here and a lot of pressure on this hockey team, and especially on Coach Doug Carpenter. The Toronto media has a very sharp spotlight on this franchise at all times, and when things are not going well, there's a lot of criticism.
That's an understatement.
Wow. Blues at center ice. Pass gets away. Lehman tries to move it ahead, does, and Paul Cavallini intercepts. His pass for Brind'Amour too far, and the puck slides deep into the Toronto end. Left in the corner, Basson centers, and Olczyk back to intercept. Ed Olczyk and Gary Lehman, the 2 veterans on this Leafs team, who are most oft criticized. And then Lehman shoots the puck in. Puck behind the Blues net. Olczyk tries to check Curtis Joseph and is knocked down by Sneps as the Blues clear to center ice. Hull gets the puck. Cutting in on the right wing. Stops in the corner. And a pass is behind Brindamore. Up the ice, Mark Osborne coming off his best season. Over the line, he drops it for Olchuk in the slot to Lehman. And he can't get a shot because Sneps is in the way. He had mans to Hull. Blues are changing. Hull into the Toronto end. Then we'll just dump the puck in the corner so the Blues can complete the line change. 5 minutes into the first period, the Blues lead 1-0. Good forechecking. Puck now at the Toronto blue line. Poked away by Ronning. Great stick handling. He fakes a shot. Weaving back to the blue line. Ronning now into the slot. A slap shot. He scores! Deflected right out in front of Peter Ing. And the Blues take the lead 2-0. Oh, what great work in the offensive zone by little Cliff Ronning. And he lets a blistering slap shot go from the slot.
He got his first goal of the year against the North Stars on Saturday on the power play. He did a great job of keeping the puck in play and then circling around. And where Ing went on this play, I don't know, because Ronning had a wide-open goal. I think his own man took him out, Brad Marsh, who was trying to clear a Blues player out. But Ing was nowhere to be found, and Ronning will get really as easy an open target as you'll see all year.
5:14. Cliff Ronning gets the goal. The puck went off a Leafs player's stick. Now Toronto shoots it in. Barahowski shooting it in, and it deflects off the glass into the crowd. And the faceoff will come out to center ice. The Blues are up 2-0. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
25-year-old Cliff Ronning gets his second goal in as many games from Featherstone at 5:14. And the Blues lead 2-0 here in the first period.
Ronning, of course, in Italy last season, he had 74 goals. He was a Brett Hull type playing in Italy a season ago. Puck deep in the St. Louis zone. Glenn Featherstone has it ahead for Adam Oates with Rich Sutter 2-on-2 into the Toronto zone. Pulls up, feeds to the right point. Mario Marois, shot pass, and Courtnall can't deflect it on goal, and the puck rebounds to center ice. Hull scores at 2:39. Ronning at 5:14 from Featherstone to make it 2-0. Blues come back again. Sutter ahead to Oates into the corner to Courtnall to the side of the net in front. A shot saved by Ing, and then Courtnall runs right into the post. Gets up with no ill effects, but referee Paul Stewart stops play to make sure that the goal had not come loose behind the Toronto netminder. What a move by Courtnall, and when you cut in like that, John Kelly, you're going to usually run into something.
Or get a good chance, and that's what Courtnall did there. He went to the net, but really got in too close, and Courtnall nearly injured himself as he hit that goal post. But the Blues lead 2-0. And it marks the 6th time in 9 games they've scored the first goal. Toronto off to another slow start. They've scored the first goal in only 2 of their games so far. And the record certainly reflects their slow starts. They're 1-7-1.
Toronto at home here, 1-2-1. They have played their best hockey, if there is such a thing, at Maple Leaf Gardens. The puck sent in behind the net of the Blues. Ron Wilson's pass rejected. Here's Stevens behind the goal. Left wing feed too far for Momesso, and the puck deflects all the way back near the Toronto net. Darren Veach, the former Capital and Red Wing. Up on the left side to Wendell Clark. His pass at center ice too far for Hannon, and Wilson steers it back to Brown. His pass ahead intercepted. Here's Veach charging to Hannon. Back now to Francis Getty to Clark. A shot, and it deflects wide off Jeff Brown. Scott Stevens gets the puck in the corner for the Blues, gets it up to Momesso. He runs into Francis Getty, and finally it's brought to center ice by Stevens. Now to Jeff Brown from the blue line. A shot off the glass as it sails over Peter Ing's head. Hannon back for Toronto, casually plays the puck around the boards, and Hull intercepts. He'll dump it in deep. Ramage for Toronto tries to clear it out. It's knocked down at the point by Sneps, and then a Oates pass is tipped to center ice. Paul Cavallini with a puck near the red line. Ahead to Gino Cavallini. He's stopped by Veach. Loose puck behind the Toronto net. It's centered off the arm, and in front it comes, and the Blues score. Brindamore. Good second effort by the Blues, and Brindamore beats Ing to make it 3-0 and really up the heat on Doug Carpenter and the struggling Maple Leafs. 3-0 Blues.
Brindamore gets his first of the year. Credit Gino Cavallini with some good work. He put the puck to the side of the net, and then Brett Hull flipped it in front. McIntyre, the Leaf center, lost his check. That was Brindamore, and he gets his first of the year at 7:19. Brindamore had 4 goals last year after 8 games, and he's off to a slower start this year, but he gets his first.
Blues get the puck back in again with a 3-0 lead. Bassett along the boards is hit, and the Leafs break out. A pass for Dave Reed too far. Paul Cavallini leaves the puck at the Toronto line. Marsh check. Ronning there can't control. And Dave Reed for Toronto to John McIntyre moving it along on his backhand. Knocked down. Can't get a shot, but there'll be a penalty. Now a shot and they score. Toronto, and a shot by Dave Reed from the corner. Scores. An impossible angle. A delayed penalty was coming up, and Reed scores to make it 3-1 Blues. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
I thought the...
Well, a fluky goal during that delayed penalty. Reed fired it toward the net. I don't know if Joseph thought the whistle had blown or not, but he was very nonchalant. And Reed gets the goal 28 seconds after Brindamore made it 3-0. So Reed cuts the lead to 3-1.
Coming up to the 8-minute mark. First period, Blues charging now over the line. Courtnall taken out in the corner by Iafrate. Brad Marsh clears up on the wing. Leafs really struggling, can't get it out. Oates a shot off the body of Marsh into the corner. One of the few helmetless players left in the NHL clears the zone, and Glenn Featherstone shoots it right back in. Courtnall with Oates and Sutter. On defense, Featherstone and Marois. Leafs clear to center ice. Featherstone gets the puck. He's checked along the near boards by Mark Osborne, and the Blues play it deep in their own zone. Mario Marois left wing for Jeff Courtnall at the red line. Ahead for Oates, 3-on-2 to Sutter in front, and the pass is tipped behind him into the corner. Here's Oates trying to dig the puck out. He's unable to. Rich Sutter along the boards to Oates in the corner, centering. Courtnall, a turnaround shot, deflects wide off Iafrate. Featherstone keeps it in at the point to Oates behind the net, unable to center. And the veteran Brad Marsh gets the puck for Toronto. He's well covered, and Iafrate has it now behind the net. Toronto not skating, not moving, and the Blues are doing some great forechecking. Oates intercepts, centers, holy shot! That's blocked, and Brett Hull has the puck again. The Blues are everywhere. Hull out near the blue line, forced to play the puck into the corner. Courtnall tied up, and the puck comes to the side of the net, and he smothers it to gain a whistle. It's now Blues 3, Maple Leafs 1. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Blues lead 3-1. Those 2 quick goals, Brindamore from Hall and Gino Cavallini at 7:19. 28 seconds later, Reed scored from McIntyre and McGuire, and it's 3-1 Blues.
So much for 2 teams that don't score many goals. We've seen 4 already. Dom Foose at his own end for Toronto. For Marois at center ice, broken up, and the Blues dump it back in. Ramage into the corner after the puck. Up the boards for Dom Foose with Thibodeau and Marois. Dom Foose plays it in wide to Joseph. Scott Stevens back for the puck. Now plays it up on the left wing for Gino Cavallini with Brindamore and Hall. Over the line, Gino Cavallini trying to get in front of the net. Can't. And Ramage's pass broken up. Here's Hall in front for Brindamore, and he's knocked down as he lost the puck in his skates. The Leafs, Dom Foose clears his center ice, and Scott Stevens lifts the puck high, and it'll come down in the Toronto zone. Ramage has it. Blues are changing. Long left wing pass for Dom Foose to Thibodeau over the line. He shoots. Joseph makes the save and covers the rebound. And play stopped. 10 minutes and 1 second into the first period. It is 3-1 Blues.
Did you know that you can own a complete satellite system for just $19.95? $19.95 with low monthly payments only at Arnold Satellite Systems. Give them a call at 464-9330. Let's pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
See Olympic diver Wendy Williams on Sports Challenge Sunday at 9:30.
Hall, Ronning, and Brindamore have scored for the Blues. Reed has scored for Toronto. Blues at home tomorrow night against these same Maple Leafs. And the faceoff near Curtis Joseph. Hannon wins it to Clark, well covered by Paul Cavallini. And the Blues clear the puck all the way back into the Toronto end. Verahowski back. Up the wing for Francis Getty. Clears it out, shot back in, offside by Harold Snepps. 3-1, the Blues lead it. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Blues lead 3-1. They've outshot the Leafs 4-2. The Leafs have allowed a lot of shots lately. 127 shots against in the last 3 games.
Leafs at center ice. Wendell Clark tips the puck into the blue zone. Snaps back for it on defense with Paul Cavallini. Paul Cavallini tries to move up the boards. Can't, and the puck ends up sliding behind the Blues goal again to the far corner. Snaps up to Momesso. He turns, loses the puck to Clark, and he smashes it behind the St. Louis net again. Curtis Joseph leaves it for Paul Cavallini. Now Toronto doing some good forechecking. Clark, Francis, Getty, and Hannon. Momesso gathers in a loose puck. Long pass just out of the reach of Lowry. The puck slides right to Peter Ing, and he'll smother it with his trapper with Lowry there and gain a stoppage in play. Peter Ing is tall. He's 6'2", only weighs 165 pounds, but rather tall for an NHL goalie.
Wendell Clark missed most of last year, or at least part of last year, with a knee injury and a back injury. Clark has had all kinds of ailments over the last 3 or 4 years. As a matter of fact, in the last 3 years, he's only played in 81 games. He was the Leafs' first overall pick in 1985, but Ken, because of all those injuries, he's only been a shadow of what he could be in the last couple of years. He was a great player.
Oh, they thought that he was going to be a franchise player here. He just hasn't turned out to be because of the injuries. Ron Wilson ready for the faceoff against 21-year-old John McIntyre, and he wins it, and Ragland shoots just wide. McGuire a pass for Reed, too far, goes the length of the ice, and as Mario Marois touches the puck, it is icing called against Toronto. Well, the former Nordique, Mario Marois, wearing 44 for the Blues.
And he still is wearing Quebec Nordique gloves. If we get a shot of Marois' gloves, he's ordered new ones with Blues colors, but they haven't come in yet, so Marois is wearing Nordique gloves, but he's played quite well so far in St. Louis. Marois chipped in with a couple of assists in 7 games, but he's the kind of veteran back on defense the Blues need, and he's more important, Ken, than, say, your normal defenseman, because he's a right-handed shooting defenseman, which is fairly rare in the National Hockey League.
He's teamed with Glenn Featherstone, who is on the left defense. Oates is up front here with Sutter and Courtnall for the face-off in the circle near the Toronto net. They draw one by the Blues. Sutter can't get a shot on goal, and Toronto in their own zone, and they clear the puck out. Osborne clearing it out. Featherstone a pass broken up by Brad Marsh at the red line. He tries to shoot it in, can't, gets it back again, bounces one to Joseph, who makes a stick save. Then Featherstone's pass up for Courtnall broken up, and Glenn Featherstone has the puck in his own zone again. De Marois up to Sutter, and a loose puck now at center ice. A battle for it, Mark Osborne and Rich Sutter, and finally Brad Marsh gets the puck. He sachets through center ice, gives it to Olczyk. He just tips it in. Back come the Blues. Oates too far for Courtnall. Rink wide it comes to Olczyk. Working in on the left wing, trying to center, can't. Mario Marois checked by Toronto behind the net. Olczyk comes in front, a shot off Marois' skate. Then Marois knocks the Leafs player Lehman down. He'll get a penalty. To the bench goes Ing, and as the Blues touch the puck, Mario Marois, the veteran defenseman, will head to the penalty box. 8:02 to go in the first period. The Blues are on top, 3-1. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Marois trips up Lehman. He goes off at 11:58. The Blues lead 3-1. The Leafs on the power play. They've struggled this year, 16.7%, and they're 17th overall.
And they gain the puck from the draw in the blue zone. Ramage at the point, the right point. Iafrate is at the left point. Behind the net it comes into the corner for Dan Marois. He loses it. Paul Cavallini can't clear. Ramage a shot knocked down in front by Paul Cavallini, and he'll clear the puck the length of the ice. The Blues penalty killing has been superb. They've been shorthanded 40 times, allowed only half a dozen goals. They're 4th in the league, killing penalties. Wendell Clark dumps the puck in. Curtis Joseph clears it to the corner. Dom Foose there for the Leafs, but can't handle it. And Dave Lowry clears the puck down the ice. 1:20 to go in the Toronto power play. They trail the Blues 3-1 here in the first period. Here is Dom Foose shooting it in for Toronto. Stevens shoots it right out. Ramage for the Leafs at his own blue line with Iafrate. Now to Dom Foose on the left wing. He'll flip it in. Marois and Clark are the other forwards. Back for the puck, Stevens. He can't clear it out. Gets it right back behind the net. Then a pass is intercepted by Dom Foose. To the right point to Ramage. With a bouncing puck over to Iafrate. Back to Ramage. Left circle to Marois. He has trouble with a bouncing puck. Now controls it. Skates out near the blue line. Over to Ramage and off his stick. The puck comes to center ice. Mario Marois, the Blues, will be back in 40 seconds. Blues lead at 3-1. The Leafs at center ice. A Ramage pass intercepted by Oates, and he'll backhand the puck into the Toronto zone. Ing wanders into the corner, clears the puck off of Beach, and the Leafs play it to center ice. Here's Mark Osborne. Off the glass. The puck behind the Blues net into the near corner for the former Blackhawk, Ed Olczyk. He leaves it for Mark Osborne, who has it stolen by Jeff Brown, and he clears it off Iafrate to center ice. 10 seconds left in the Blues penalty. Olczyk stopped at the Blues defense, and the Blues clear it out. And Beach dumps it back in. Knocked down by a high stick of Jeff Brown, and as he touches the puck, referee Paul Stewart stops play. The Bluebirds are out here at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Blues lead 3-1. The Leafs have had only 3 shots on goal. And on that last power play, 2 or 3 times they tried to carry the puck into the Blues end. With 4 Blues back, it's very difficult. And Brian Sutter's team will stand up all night long at that blue line and set up a gauntlet if the Leafs want to carry the puck in.
The penalty to Marois over. Blues back at full strength. The face-off near Curtis Joseph. Brindamore against Dave Hannon, the former Penguin and Oiler. And the Blues control the puck. And Mario Marois on defense with Featherstone gets it up in the left wing to Gino Cavallini. Now to Brindamore with Hull over the line. Back to Gino Cavallini. A shot, and it goes wide. Marois unable to keep the puck in at the point, and the Blues control at center ice. The Blues have controlled the play in this first period. Here's Hull, left wing to Gino Cavallini. One man back, a shot, and it goes wide off Ramage. Centering Gino Cavallini, and Hannon intercepts to Dave Reed. Back to Hannon. Now left side to Francis Getty into the corner. Can't center, ridden out by Marois. And a loose puck onto the stick of Glenn Featherstone. Off of Hull's skate at center ice to Gino Cavallini. Into the Toronto end. Drops it for Hull. He shoots. He scores! Brett Hull, his second of the night. That one went off Brad Marsh and changed directions. Ing didn't have much of a chance, and Brett Hull has scored twice. And the Blues take the lead 4-1.
Hull just made a couple of great athletic plays on that last rush. Gino Cavallini took it across the line, drops it for Hull. He had a man coming in on right wing. That was Brindamore, and he used Marsh as a screen, and that puck hit Marsh and bounced by Peter Ing, who is making his 4th straight start. So Hull has taken over the NHL lead with 9 goals, his second of the night here at 14:43. Well, one thing Doug Carpenter said before tonight's game is goaltending has been very good. The Leafs have allowed a lot of goals this year, 38, which is 3rd worst, but the goaltending has not been sharp tonight.
Face off at center ice. Olczyk up to Osborne. He can't clear it in, and here's Scott Stevens in his own territory. His pass broken up. Iafrate works in over the line to Olczyk. To leave a look out, and his shot along the ice stopped by Curtis Joseph. And the Blues clear the puck back into the Toronto zone. Less than 5 minutes to go in the first period. Leafs clear it out. Jeff Brown brings it back in, banks it off the glass in the corner behind the net. Oates against Marsh after the puck. Marsh gets it to Osborne. He's well covered by Sutter. Oates in the corner centers. And Courtnall can't reach the puck in front. And the Leafs clear the puck out. 4-1 Blues. They have it at center ice. Rich Sutter ahead to Courtnall to Oates. He sets up along the near boards. Rink wide for Rich Sutter. He's bumped by Lehman. Then leaves the puck, and Lehman gets it and clears it out. That goal, Hull from Gino Cavallini and Featherstone at 14:43. So Hull has 2. Ronning and Brindamore have also scored. Reed has scored for Toronto. Puck at the Toronto line. Courtnall keeps it in. In front for Raglan, and he can't get around Daniel Marois. He comes to center ice. A feed for Thibodeau gets away. Here's Sneps now at the Blues line. He can't control, and Marsh with a chance bounces it right to Curtis Joseph, and he has a lot of trouble with the puck, but is able to make the save. 3:50 to go, first period. Blues Raglan at center ice. Now to the Toronto line. Cuts to the left side into the corner for Ron Wilson, and the puck goes off his skate, and it's cleared out by Toronto. Sneps can't play it initially at center ice, and the Leafs clear it in, and the Blues come right back. Raglan on the right wing below us is stopped. Luke Richardson hands the puck to Sneps, and right now the Leafs and Blues both struggling to really get something going. Puck in the Toronto end. Ramage up for Marois. His rink-wide pass goes astray, and it's shot in by Brett Hull. The Blues and Leafs will change players. Leafs in their own zone. Richardson, left wing for Dom Foose. His pass intercepted by Paul Cavallini to Hull. One man back. He'll let a shot go, and it is stopped by Ing as that one deflects off of Ramage, and Ing leaves no rebound, and the whistle stops play. Brett Hull getting his usual amount of opportunities, and the Blues lead it 4-1. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Hull with 2 goals tonight now leads the league with 9 goals, 1 ahead of Mike Gartner.
From the face-off, Hull to Featherstone moving in, and his shot off Iafrate deflects into the seats behind the Toronto goal. Glenn Featherstone getting an opportunity from the face-off and moved in for a defenseman to rather close range.
He's a native of Toronto, one of a host of players from this area or this city. Brindamore got the draw back to Hull, and he made a great pass to Featherstone, who's still looking for his first National Hockey League goal. He's had a lot of chances in the last couple of games, and Featherstone has played well. That last goal, by the way, Hull from Gino Cavallini and Featherstone at 14:43. The Blues have scored 4 goals on 6 shots and lead 4-1.
Hull has 2 goals and an assist to lead the way. Face off in the Toronto zone. The Leafs, Francis Getty to center ice, plays it into the Blues zone, and Featherstone back for it. Leaves it for Marois, checked by Francis Getty. Now the puck comes to Gino Cavallini. He gets it out, and it's shot back in by Marsh. And the Leafs will have a delayed offside. Mario Marois deep in his own zone. Forechecked by Hannon. Marois leaves the puck. Featherstone clears it off the glass all the way through center ice. And Al Iafrate, the Detroit native, back circling his net. He can handle the puck. Up to Wendell Clark. Right wing for Francis Getty. On a line with Hannon over the line. Francis Getty just sends the puck behind the net, and it's cleared up the wing. Brindamore trying to get it out, tips it to Hull. He clears the zone, and the Blues will change players as Iafrate has possession at his own line to the red line. Now to Hannon in Blues territory, but the Blues intercept, and here's Ronning, who has a goal to center ice, left wing to Momesso into the Leaf zone. Ahead for Ronning in the corner. He can dazzle you. Ronning in the circle, centers, no one there for the Blues. Lowry gets the puck along the board, sends it in front off Richardson. Behind the net, now centered, and it's loose. And McIntyre takes over for Toronto up to Clark. Now to McGuire. And McGuire, the former Sabre and Flyer, shoots the puck in, and the Blues are back. McGuire along the boards beats Jeff Brown to the puck. It's sent behind the Blues goal, and Stevens there. Up the wing for Momesso. He can't play it. Then McGuire loses the puck to Ronning. Right wing for Lowry, trying to cut in around Richardson, moves in front, can't get a good shot, but a bad angle shot forces Ing to make the save. Lowry after the puck in the corner, has it, behind the net for Momesso. Now he leaves it there for Adam Oates. In front, Momesso, a wrist shot, Ing the save. The rebound comes loose, and Richardson tries to clear it out, and Sneps keeps it in. Now the Blues back on defense as Ramage comes to center ice, ahead for Dave Reed into the corner near the Blues goal. The crowd cheers as it's announced there's less than a minute to go in the period. Sneps to Courtnall at center ice to Oates. The Blues on the attack. Oates cuts into the left side to Courtnall, and a poke check at the last second by Olczyk keeps Courtnall from a good shot. Lehman to center ice for Toronto, dumps it in. Out of the crease is Joseph. He leaves the puck for Courtnall, who makes a good move. Then a fine pass at center ice to Oates. 2-on-2 with Rich Sutter. And Iafrate wrestles Oates away from the puck. Then only to lose it to Rich Sutter. He pulls up behind the Toronto goal. 22 seconds to go in the period. Marsh tries to make the play, but it's centered to Courtnall, and Ing makes a save on Jeff Courtnall. Puck cleared out by Barahowski. Finally to Marsh in over the Blues line, but he can't sidestep Paul Cavallini. Runs him into the boards, gives the puck to Lehman. Good work by Marsh, and a pass back for Olczyk. Gets past him and will come back to the Toronto zone as the first period comes to an end. And it was not a very good period, to say the least, for the Maple Leafs. But For the Blues, a very good first period as they outshoot Toronto 8-5. And in the period, Brett Hull leads the way with a pair of goals. So after 20 minutes in Toronto, it's the St. Louis Blues 4 and the Toronto Maple Leafs 1. This is St. Louis Blues hockey. Now stay tuned for Don Clark and Christine Buck. They'll have an update on the news, and Rich Gould will be along with the Busch Sports Break.
Hi, I'm Scott Stevens.
And I'm Adam Oates.
Be the first on your block to join the Blue Note Club.
The coolest club in town that's for kids only.
It's sponsored by the St. Louis Blues, Best Soda, Walgreens, and St. Louis 11.
For just $5, you receive a ticket to a Blues game, special Blues souvenirs, your very own membership card, and a letter from us.
To register, stop by your nearest Walgreens and look for the vest display. It's as simple as that.
So kids, get your parents to take you to your nearest Walgreens and sign up today.
And we'll see you at the game.
The Blues are at home tomorrow night against these Maple Leafs. Good seats still available. And then on Saturday night, the Montreal Canadiens at the arena. In November, by the way, the Blues have 7 games at home. The first 4 with Edmonton, Detroit, Quebec, and Winnipeg. You can call Dial-Tix at 434-6600 and charge your tickets. Of course, tickets to all Blues home games are on sale at the arena box office from 10 until 6 every day. They accept American Express, MasterCard, and Visa. 2 goals in the first period for the incredible Brett Hull. And the Blues lead it here in Toronto by a score of 4-1. We're set for the second period. Here's John Kelly.
Thank you, Ken. The Blues go from our right to left. Here we go. Off the draw, the Blues at center. Hull gets it. Good pass to Brindamore. Comes in on left wing. Brindamore, quick shot. That's blocked by Marsh. Clear to the corner. Held in by Stevens on the left point. Now Iafrate behind the Leaf goal. Now Iafrate. Long pass knocked down by Brett Hull. A shot, and Ing got his arm on that. Oh, a bad giveaway by Iafrate. Now in the near corner. Brindamore tries to dig it free. He gets it free, but right in front, Marsh is there. And Brad Marsh, one of 7 players left in the NHL who doesn't wear a helmet, back in. Here's Marsh, a long wrist shot, and Joseph never saw it, but it went wide. Brindamore digs it free for the Blues. He's got his first of the year tonight. At center ice for Gino Cavallini, cuts in. Drop pass for Brindamore, a shot, and a pad saved by Ing, the rookie goalie. Then he holds on for a faceoff.
A good crisp start for the Blues here in this second period. Brindamore having words with Francis Getty, but he's not the first player that has had an opportunity to speak to Mr. Francis Getty over the years. He has been known for taking the body and playing a rough style of hockey. Marsh in front rode Brindamore out of the play. Then Iafrate makes a pass that is tipped by the Blues forechecking. Boy, you get Hull in a spot in the slot, and he'll always be dangerous, and Ing has to make a very, very quick save on Brett Hull. Well, remember, when you're having good times with good friends, use good sense and drink responsibly. Please know when to say when. A reminder from Budweiser.
Blues up 4-1. We played 1 minute of the second period. Face off on the Leafs end. Ramage gets it. His pass nearly picked off, but now it's cleared by Olczyk to Osborne. He'll dump it in. Sneps is back. Plays it behind his goal. Sneps, who is 36 years old today, up to Lowry on right wing. Center ice for Wilson. He'll poke it in. Momesso goes in after it. Can't get to it. Cleared ahead by Ramage. Not out. Held in by Paul Cavallini. He tried to center one. Blocked. Cavallini gets it again. Cavallini, a good pass to Lowry in front, a tip in, and it just missed. And the Leafs get the puck. Lehman on right wing. He'll flip to center ice. Played back in by the Blues offside as Momesso gets the puck. Blues up 4-1 here in Toronto. And now Ramage gets involved with Dave Lowry at center ice. And the linesmen jump in. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Coaches Brian Sutter and Doug Carpenter. Both facing different fates, certainly. Sutter secure, his team off to a decent enough start. Carpenter feeling the heat here in Toronto. Coincidental penalties to Lowry and Ramage. here at 1:40 of the second period.
They both go off for roughing. The Blues up 4-1, gets the puck to center. Shot back in by Luke Richardson. Blues rookie goalie Curtis Joseph sets it up for Featherstone. Now to Marois. Up the middle to Oates. At center ice. Now Featherstone gets it. In for Sutter on right wing. Good pass to Oates in the slot. He passed and no one was there. And the puck cleared ahead. Not out. Held in by Courtnall. Plays it behind the Toronto goal. Barahowski is back there. And he shot the puck over the glass. And we'll get a face-off in the Leaf end.
Barahowski, a rookie, first-year pro, injured his knee in junior hockey last season. He was playing at Kingston. A very serious knee injury. Still drafted in the first round by the Leafs, 10th overall. He is only 18 years of age. When they went to training camp, they weren't sure. Would they send him back to junior hockey? Would they let him play in the American Hockey League? Or try to give him some exposure to the National Hockey League? And that's what Drake Barahowski has been getting.
Blues get the draw. Marois on the point, a shot just wide. Blues up by 3 goals here. Now the Leafs to center ice. 2-on-1. Domfus with Thibodeau. Domfus in on right wing. Joseph a pad save as Domfus went to his backhand in close. Now Barahowski on the point, a shot blocked. Held in. Daniel Marois gets it. Left point for Richardson. His shot blocked. And Oates is back for the Blues. 3-on-2. Drop pass to Sutter. Right in, a shot. And a save by Ing. Now they center one. Featherstone right in front. A save by Ing on Featherstone. Here's Oates in the corner. Great pass to Courtnall. Right in, a shot. He scores! Jeff Courtnall. Then the Blues lead 5-1 as Courtnall gets number 6.
It's that same old song. Hall and Courtnall. Hall with 2, Courtnall with another goal. The Blues lead at 5-1. What a chance missed just seconds earlier by Featherstone. And then Oates, after a chance by Marois, gets it to Featherstone. You won't come any closer to your first NHL goal than there, but the Blues do not let up. Forechecking. Rich Sutter forecheck on the play Richardson, and that was the key to allow the puck to get out into the slot to Jeff Courtnall.
Now we have a fight at center off the faceoff. Kevin McGuire and Bob Basson. McGuire got Basson down, but no punches landed. McGuire played in Buffalo and Philadelphia last year, was originally signed by the Leafs as a free agent out of Tier 2 hockey a couple of years ago. And McGuire is known as a very tough customer.
Well, there's no question Bob Basson did not worry about backing away. Now he is favoring his right leg, skating around a bit before going into the penalty box. 5-1. The Blues lead it. They have been relentless, and the Leafs have been playing for the most part as if they're in a bit of a fog. They say they had a terrible performance Monday night at Maple Leaf Gardens. After their only victory of the year, they played pretty well at home last Saturday and beat the Chicago Blackhawks. Their only victory at home. They were hopeful then, but the week that has followed has not been a good one. Courtnall getting the goal, sending the puck right through the legs of Peter Ing, who is playing tonight for the first time against the Blues, and you can be sure wishing that he was not getting that opportunity. He's not getting a lot of help.
Bassett and McGuire get roughing minors at 2:53. Their last goal, Courtnall from Oates at 2:49. The Blues up 5-1. Now the Leafs off the draw. Iafrate to center ice. He'll wrist in off the boards. Comes right in front, but Stevens there, and he knocked it away. Stevens shoots it back to center. Brad Marsh there at his own line. Now for Dave Reed. He has the only Leaf goal. Long shot, and a glove save by Joseph. Now he flips it behind the goal for Stevens. He nearly gave it away, but back is Mametho to center ice. Good pass for Raglan. He cuts in, one man back. Raglan can't get a shot away. And the Leafs shoot it back to center ice. But Scott Stevens on his horse gets back and makes a nice pass to center ice to Mametho. Now for Ronning. Hits the Leaf line. Ronning left wing for Jeff Brown. A shot. That's tipped, and it goes into the third deck here at Maple Leaf Gardens and out of play. The Blues lead 5-1. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
When I was a boy, I was always told, Brett, you must share with others.
Brett Hull keeps the puck himself. Goes behind the goal, still has it in front. A shot, he scores! Brett Hull does it himself.
When we were boys, we had an important rule in our house. No fighting.
We have a fight here. Rich Sutter and Michel Goulet. Sutter lands a left, another left. Oh, look at Rich Sutter go.
Well, the Blues lost 7 of 8 to Toronto in the regular season last season. Averaged less than 3 goals a game against them. Well, tonight they have come up with 5. What a difference a year makes. This Toronto team got off to a slow start last year. They had a very slow start. They were 1-5 to begin last year, but of course they turned it around.
Blues lead 5-1. Now the Blues center one. Brett Hull with 2 goals. Can't get a shot away. Brindamore in the near corner. And he holds it for a faceoff. We'll pause 5 seconds here for station ID. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
How do you figure out Ed Olczyk at age 24 in his 7th NHL season? Not the player today he was a few years ago.
He killed the Blues last year with 14 points. But this year he's off to a slow start. 1 goal so far. Now the Blues, who lead 5-1 in their own end. Snaps, gets the pass from Paul Cavallini at center ice to Brett Hull. He missed a check from Ramage. And Richardson back in his own zone. Luke Richardson. Long pass up the middle. Down the ice it goes. Joseph flips it to the corner. Kept in by Gary Lehman. Now in the corner for Olczyk. Turns around. Can't center. And Brindamore behind the Blues goal. Far corner for Brett Hull. He shovels it back for Snaps behind the net. Gets it ahead to Gino Cavallini. He comes to center. Pass for Brindamore near the line. Brindamore tries to work in. He stood up there and now backhands it in. And the Blues make a change on the move. 5 minutes into the second period. The Blues lead 5-1. Now at center ice, the Leafs. Lehman gets it for Luke Richardson. Richardson, a former first-rounder of the Maple Leafs back in '86. He clears it in at Featherstone for St. Louis. At center to Oates. Oates to the line, but Rich Sutter was pushed in offside. And play is called. Adam Oates, another of the Blues players, still looking for his first goal of the year.
The ultimate playmaker, isn't he? Curtis Joseph getting a better look at a few shots in this period, though Toronto has had only 2 shots on goal, but a couple of shots that he's really had an opportunity to handle. Out of the University of Wisconsin, just 23 years of age, Curtis Joseph. And fans who have waited for a winner here at Maple Leaf Gardens for a long, long time. They turn out and sold out game after game. They're usually pretty quiet. Tonight, when they've made noise, it's been mostly in the form of boos cascading down at the Maple Leafs.
Last year, the Leafs finished right at 500, 38-38-4. And that was the first time in 10 years they didn't finish under 500. There was all kinds of renewed optimism here in the capital of Ontario, Toronto, but they're off to a poor start. Blues, a good start tonight, lead 5-1. Puck behind the Leaf goal off the draw. Jeff Courtnall back there forechecking, but Marois gets it. And Daniel Marois backhands the puck to center for Domfus. Now to Iafrate into the Blues end. Right wing for Domfus. Back to Thibodeau. Penalty called here against the Blues. A delayed call. And now in front, Marois and Iafrate get involved. And Iafrate is very hot. I believe he wants Rich Sutter. There was an original call against the Blues.
I believe, John, the penalty was against Sutter, and the way Iafrate is trying to get at Sutter, you can bet Rich Sutter did something to Al Iafrate that he will not soon forget. Oh, is Iafrate hot, and Sutter is where he ought to be. Quickly into the penalty box and out of the reach of Al Iafrate. Boy, is he hot.
He could get kicked out. He really manhandled one of the linesmen. He could get a misconduct or a game misconduct. Here was that play again.
On the play, Iafrate made a pass, and he was about 3 strides after the pass, and in a sense almost got blindsided by Rich Sutter, and that was the play, and Sutter will get penalized for it. 5-1, the Blues are on top. This is St. Louis Blues hockey. Al Iafrate gets a 10-minute misconduct along with 2 minutes for roughing after Rich Sutter picks up a 2-minute tripping penalty. Boy, Al Iafrate almost got blindsided, got checked really on a play that could also have been interference. And of course, he's coming back from that serious knee injury, and you know that has to weigh the condition of his knee heavily on his mind. And Iafrate and Sutter talking about it now. But 5:48 the time of the penalties, 2-minute minors offsetting, and then the 10-minute misconduct to Al Iafrate, and that will not help the Leafs any for the better part of the time remaining in this period. He's very key, Iafrate is, in moving the puck out of the Leaf zone. The linesman a little the worse for wear.
Dan McCourt's shirt ripped right open. Iafrate could get a bill from the NHL for a new uniform for the linesman. Now the Leafs dump it in offside. While we have a second, we'd like to wish a get well to Mike Lipple, who is recovering in St. Anthony's Hospital back in St. Louis. And also, a couple of fans here from St. Louis, season ticket holders, Jim and Chris Webb, are celebrating their anniversary, or rather honeymoon, here in Toronto, and they're at the game tonight. So happy honeymoon to Jim and Chris Webb.
Won't be long for Jim and Chris, and it will be anniversary time, but congratulations on their marriage. And what a way to spend your honeymoon in Canada watching hockey.
And watching the Blues win. Blues lead at 5-1. We played 6 minutes of the second period. Now the Blues dump it in. Lowry in after it. Got it on the boards, but Ronning overskates it. And back to center, Hannon. Right wing for Francis Getty. Into the Blues end. He had 5 goals against the Blues last year. He centers, but no one there, and back is Ronning. 3-on-2. Into the Leaf end. Ronning 1 move, 2 moves. Now works in on left wing. Great pass in front to Brown. Right in. Brown can't get a shot. Now behind the goal. And he can't put it in front. Brown in the far corner. Pass to Momesso. A drive, and that was blocked in front. Now on the right point, Brown can't keep it in, and the puck slides down the ice. Well, the Blues had 2 or 3 superb chances there, and it all began with Cliff Ronning. Now at center ice. Stevens pokes it away, and here comes Gino Cavallini in across the line. Pass for Ronning broken up, and Reed feeds McGuire on right wing. To a bad angle, a shot, and a pad saved by Joseph. And the puck loose on left wing. Stevens gets it. At center to Brett Hull. Looking for the hat trick. In on right wing. Feeds it in front, knocked away. And the Leafs take over again. McIntyre for Brad March. He's up on the play, but knocked down from behind by Gino Cavallini. And Brindamore sends it behind the Blues goal. Now for Gino Cavallini on the near side. The hitting picks up again. Puck comes back on the right point for Ramage. Other side. Broken up, though, by Brett Hull, as Osborne had a wide-open shot. Now at center ice, Paul Cavallini picks it up. He tries to split that defense. He can't, as Ramage knocked it away. Brett Hull gets it, though. Right in, a shot. Save, rebound, and Hull put the rebound wide as he was gunning for the hat trick. And the puck shot to center ice. This game very wide open, and now Basson and Olczyk get involved in behind the play. Well, you could expect the Leafs to get frustrated behind 5-1, and now Olczyk will go off.
Well, they love Brad Marsh here. This fella's career in its 13th season, he scored only 19 goals, 938 regular season games, but he was hammering around the Toronto offensive zone as if he were a forward, and they were enjoying the workmanship by Marsh. Now the penalty will be against Ed Olczyk, and it'll give the Blues the power play. He just reached up and yanked the Blues player down from behind right in front of Paul Stewart. The time of the penalty, 7:53 here in the second period. Meanwhile, earlier, the 18-year-old defenseman Drake Verahowski had to go to the Toronto dressing room for repairs. Well, John, we'll get a look now at the Blues power play as Olczyk goes off. It's been a game with a number of penalties, but we haven't seen much of either side's power play. And the Blues on the year coming into this game on the power play, 15th in the league at only 17%. So they'd certainly like to see better production from their power play.
And they did get a couple of power play goals against the North Stars in that 2-2 tie in the weekend. Blues lead 5-1. Oates up front with Portnoy and Hull. Stevens and Brown, the point men, as Courtnall tries to work in. He can't. And Brett Hull takes it back to center ice. Now at his own line for Stevens. For Jeff Brown. Blues working all the way deep in their own zone. Now Stevens. Pass. Hit Courtnall in the back of the leg. And Stevens again behind the Blues goal. Here's a pass up to Jeff Courtnall. He's got one goal tonight. Courtnall skates in on left wing. Bad angle, a shot, and a glove save by Ing. Held in by Stevens. Right wing for Adam Oates. Oates a pass across to Brett Hull. Now back for Brown on the point, left wing for Hull. Here's Hull, sets it up on the power play, in for Oates. Now back on the point, Stevens there on that left point. Fires to the corner. Now they center one to Courtnall, can't get a shot. Left point for Stevens. In on the wing to Adam Oates. Oates on left wing, in the corner for Hull. Back for Oates, across, now to Brown, right in a shot, and he put it wide. Here's Oates with 55 seconds left in the power play. Back for Stevens, a drive, right on rebound. Courtnall a shot, and he put that wide on the back end. Now Courtnall in the far corner, behind the goal for Oates. Oates back near that left point. He's bumped by Dave Hannon and knocked down, and Ramage sends it down the ice. Blues lead 5-1 on a power play. Stevens at his own line. That's centered to Oates. Can't go around Ramage. Oates grabs it again. Right wing for Brett Hull. Hull drops it back for Brown. Far corner for Hull again. He was knocked down by Marsh. And here come the Leafs. Lehman ahead, a pass near the line. Knocked away. And then Marsh dumps it in behind the Blues goal. Just 10 seconds left in Olczyk's minor penalty. Puck still in the Blues zone. Now Oates feeds one to center. Broken up by Darren Veach, and Lehman slaps it back in wide. Olczyk on the ice now. And the Blues and Leafs are at full strength. Here's Brett Hull through center ice. Into the Leaf end. Pass in front. Right in front to Courtnall. Ing a save. Great save there. Now Cavallini right in. On right wing, a shot. Then Paul Cavallini's shot was blocked by Marsh. Oates grabs it. Centers one. Paul Cavallini, a backhander. That just missed. The Blues all over the Leafs. Oates again in the near corner. Pass on the point. Paul Cavallini, a shot. High off the glass. Oates again in the corner. He's a passing machine in that corner. Centers it, but no one there. Then Dumfus to center for Toronto. He comes in on right wing. Now to the corner. Drops it back for Olczyk. A weak shot block. And here come the Blues again. Courtnall down left wing. Pass to Sutter. That was offside at the line. It's all St. Louis here in Toronto. 5-1 Blues. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
I'm thinking of a steak. A thick, choice, juicy steak. Or maybe it'll be seafood. Lobster or swordfish. Chops sound good too. Pork, lamb, or veal. And for dessert, oh, this isn't fair. It's time to eat. I'm out of here. We hope to see you soon at Deerdorf and Hart's, the choice of St. Louis, in Westport Plaza and Union Station.
Blues president Jack Quinn here watching this one at Maple Leaf Gardens, sitting up with assistant coach Wayne Thomas and Blues general manager Ron Caron. By the way, Leafs defenseman Drake Berehowski, who we saw go off for repairs earlier, is back and on the ice.
That's good to see. The Blues lead this game 5-1 with just over 9 minutes left in the second period. Dumfus on right wing for Toronto. Gets one to center. Steps is there to play it right back in the Leaf end. Berehowski behind the net. Up the boards for Marois. He takes it back in behind his goal. Far side for Wendell Clark. Clark trying to work it away at center to Marois. Marois near the Blues line. Got it in deep. Now poked away but not out. Richardson left point, a shot. Blocked by Steps in front. And the Blues start back with Momesso. He had the winning goal in Game 3 last year here in overtime. Now the Blues work it in on right wing. Mario Marois sent it behind the Leaf net. Berehowski is there. And he just fires the puck over Featherstone's stick and down the ice. Marois hustles back for St. Louis. Left wing for Momesso. He skates through center with Ragland. To Ragland across the lines. He left it there for Ron Wilson. A backhander right on. Ing a save. Now Momesso a shot block. Momesso gets it again. But he can't pull the trigger And the puck comes to center. Marois rifles it right back in. The Blues lead here 5-1. Leafs to center ice. Marois on right wing. Left wing for Reed around Marois. Reed in on goal. And Joseph a save as he went to his knees. And he stopped Dave Reed. It's 5-1 St. Louis. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Blues and Leafs tomorrow night at the arena. And everyone in attendance will receive a starter set of Pro Set hockey cards, the new NHL licensee. So start your collection tomorrow night at the arena.
It's the Blues 5, the Leafs 1. 7:45 left second period. Blues have outshot the Leafs 20-9. Leafs get the draw, though. Left point, Beach a shot. Blocked by Ragland, and he clears to center. Now Rob Ramage. He'll work it back in, but Jeff Brown there to slap it back to center. Beach at his own line for Toronto. Across two lines to Francischetti, and play is called. We'll pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Dancer's Delight. Who's the boss? Weeknights at 6.
Coach Brian Sutter has to be pleased with the intensity of his team tonight. The Blues have had a very good jump, and with a good jump combined with the effort being put forth by the Leafs, which I'm sure is a lot less than Coach Doug Carpenter would like to see, you've got a game to this point that is one-sided, and the Blues lead it 5-1. What you have right now in the Toronto Maple Leafs are a few players who are playing hard, if only for themselves or for the Maple Leaf on the sweater, maybe for Coach Doug Carpenter. Fellows like Brad Marsh and Rob Ramage and a few others. But then you have some others that are playing as if they'd either like to see Carpenter gone or maybe like to see themselves traded. Well, it's a tough situation for a coach and, well, tough for everybody, right down to the fans.
And the Leafs can't blame their woes on Harold Ballard anymore. He passed away last April. He was a long time target of many criticisms here in Toronto. Now the Blues, who lead 5-1. Ragland to center ice. Shoots it into the Leaf end. Lowry in the near corner. He gets to it. Now Stevens on the left point works in. Can't get a shot. In that corner, Lowry is there as well. McIntyre plays it around the boards. Herb Ragland, he overskates it. And Lou Francischetti, the former Capital, now to center ice. Shoots it down the ice in behind the Blues goal. Stevens is back there. Good pass to Ronning at center ice. He's got a goal tonight. His shot on net. Inga save. Olchek gets the rebound. And Eddie Olchek, a native of Chicago, back to center. For Osborne. He'll dump it in. But Steps is there to chop it back to center. And Darren Beach called up today from Newmarket at his own line. Checked by Gino Cavallini. He can't center. And Osborne back on left wing. He'll flip it in deep. Goes in after it. Osborne puts it right in front, but no one there. And the puck rolls down the ice. Ing out of the goal. Got it by Brett Hull, and the puck comes to center. Now Osborne a pass. Blocked by Paul Cavallini. Into Brindamore on right wing. To Brett Hull. Back to Brindamore to Hull. A rocket. High off the glass. Puck now in the far corner. Cleared, not out. Hull knocked it down. To Gino Cavallini in front. He can't get turned around. Now Hull grabs it again. Hull, a great pass to Brindamore on right wing. Back in front for Hull, but it was tipped away by Ramage. Hull gets it again. He's been all over the ice tonight. Right point to Paul Cavallini, a shot, right on a save. Hull the rebound. Inga save on Brett Hull from right in front. And again, the Blues are swarming all around the Leafs.
Boy, is Brett Hull incredible or what? How many times did he have the puck in that sequence? He was everywhere and ended up having the finest of a number of good scoring chances. He already has 2. Blues 5, Leafs 1. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
I check for a living, and I've been checking out the deals at your Midwest GMC dealers. These GMC Suburbans are legendary. This is the place for room. 2 or 4-wheel drive, rear anti-lock brakes, plush interior, and tow packages up to 9,500 pounds. They've got hundreds to choose from. Your Midwest GMC dealers, another reason why GMC Suburbans are #1. Check them out.
Only at Bellman GMC in North County, Bomberito GMC in Ellisville, and Brockland GMC in Fairmount City, Illinois.
5-1 St. Louis. Hull has scored twice. Other goals from Ronning, Brindamore, and Courtnall. Blues led 4-1 after one and have scored the only goal here in the second period. Now they get the draw. Courtnall, a shot right on, a save by Ing with his left glove behind the goal. Here's Oates stealing it. Puts it in front, broken up by Thibodeau. He comes to center, checked by Featherstone. And the Blues dump it back in. Now Berehowski in behind his net. His pass on an open wing, it sails down the ice. And Featherstone, who has a pair of assists tonight, back to get it. It marks the first time ever in Featherstone's career he's registered more than 1 point in a game. Now the Blues dump it in. Ing shovels it to the near corner. Rich Sutter gets it now for Oates. Oates in front to Courtnall. Courtnall right there, and he can't find the loose puck. Courtnall now in behind the goal. For Oates, back to Courtnall. He's in too tight, but he centers it right in front, and it's cleared away by the Leafs' Luke Richardson. To Marois. Lead pass too far for Damphus. Marois back for the Blues. And he gets it. And icing call. 2 Marois on the ice tonight. Mario for the Blues. Danielle for Toronto. And they are not related.
And for Toronto, Damphus, one of the better players, a 33-goal scorer a year ago. Al Iafrate has been serving a 10-minute misconduct. And this young defenseman, and he is still young, only 24 years of age, even though he's in his 7th season. Now a fight breaks out. Ramage and Lowry. And it is short-lived. They had been after each other earlier. Iafrate has been standing in the penalty box the entire time he's been in there. Sort of coaching, sort of cheerleading, and probably more than anything, wishing he were out on the ice. But he will not take a seat. He's just very much involved in the action. Well, that's the way Dave Lowry is. Earlier, he had slapped or grabbed Ramage's stick away from him. And then now they get back to each other, so they've been yapping at each other. And they'll both be penalized here with 4:36 remaining in the second period. Well, it is the second period for you Blues fans, and it's time right now to head for the mountains and round up a round of that refreshingly smooth, ice-cold Busch beer. But don't be gone long. A lot more action. A cold Busch. Boy, that would taste good right now.
Lowry gets a roughing minor at 15:24. And Ramage gets a double minor for roughing. So the Blues will get a power play, their second of the night. That's the second time Ramage has gone after a Blues player. And Ken, it's obvious to me that Ramage, the captain of the Leafs, is trying to fire up that club.
Yeah, he and Brad Marsh, I think, more than anyone, are the two players who are trying to make things happen. Marsh being very offensive, throwing his weight around. Ramage just trying to get something to happen. And for the Leafs, not much is happening. The Blues have everything seemingly rolling with a 5-1 lead, and now they'll have their second power play, and we'll have Oates out with Hull and Courtnall and Stevens and Brown on defense. Boy, you watch Adam Oates game in and game out. How'd you like to play wing with him? You talk about a fellow who just wants to put it on the tape and give you an opportunity. He just does it over and over and over again as Bob Berry talks on the bench with Sergio Momesso.
Now the Blues get a power play, leading 5-1. Brown on the point, a rocket right on, a save by Ing, and it's cleared to center ice. Jeff Brown back at his own line. Pass for Oates. He plays it back for Stevens in his own zone, who shovels it in deep for Brown. Jeff Brown behind the Blues goal. He is the most power play points this year on the Blues. A goal and 3 assists. Hull leads with 3 goals. Now the Blues in the Leaf end make a pass, but it slides back down the ice. Brown there to get the puck up for Scott Stevens. Now for Courtnall, races in on left wing. Courtnall on the boards. Now to Brett Hull. Here's Hull on left wing. Still has it. Back on the point for Stevens. Left wing for Hull again. In deep now for Oates. Back on the point to Stevens. Right wing side to Brown. Gets turned around. Plays in the corner for Courtnall. Behind the net now for Brett Hull. Hull back on the point for Stevens. A minute left in the power play. Left wing for Hull. Behind the back for Oates. Here's Oates in that near corner. Marsh on him. But Brett Hull grabs the puck. Hull works in front. for Oates on left wing. Back to Hall, and it was broken up by McIntyre, and Reed clears it down the ice. Blues lead 5-1. 3:10 to go in the second period. Blues in a power play. Stevens at center ice to Brindamore. Now for Ronnie. He cuts in on left wing. Held up by Lehman, and Mark Osborne sends it down the ice. And Jeff Brown for the Blues in behind his goal. Only 15 seconds left in Ramage's minor. At center to Ronnie on right wing. He'll dump it in. Gino Cavallini in after it on left wing. Gets the puck on the boards. Now it squirts free. Goes right to Ronnie back on the left point. Right point to Paul Cavallini. Lets one fly. He scores! Paul Cavallini from the right point. He went right through Ing's legs. And the Blues lead 6-1 as Paul Cavallini gets his second of the year.
There was really no screen on the play. Ronning, eyes glued towards the net, goes to the point, and it opens up. It's got to be a routine play for Peter Ing. But boy, nothing is routine when you give up 6 goals and the game isn't even 2 periods old. Just look to 21-year-old Peter Ing there. 17-26, Paul Cavallini gets the goal. And the Blues in this period, are out shooting Toronto 17-4, and they lead it 6-1.
That's Paul's second goal of the year. Ronnie and brother Gino get the assist on the goal. It's 6-1 St. Louis. Now the Blues off the draw work in. Raglan left wing. Ing out of the goal. Plays it behind his net. And now Dumfus on left wing. Right wing for Daniel Marois. Into the Blues end. Knocked away from him. And here's Raglan at center again. Up to Ron Wilson. Missed the check from Richardson. Wilson across the line. Knocked away again. And now Richardson turns. And he shoots it down the ice. Blues lead 6-1. Less than 2 minutes to play in the second period. Here at center ice, Ron Wilson. He lost it. Darren Veach gets it. The former Red Wing back in his own zone for Brad Marsh. Now Marsh, as Blues make changes, at center to Francis Sketty down the right wing. He'll dump it in. Marois back for the Blues. They'll send it off the boards to center ice. Now Featherstone for the Blues. To Mario Marois at center ice. Now for Brindamore. Across the line with Brett Hull. To Hull. He cuts in on right wing. A shot. Ing a save. Rebound. Featherstone a drive. And a pad save by Ing. And the Leafs clear it away. Marois back. Icing called on Toronto. And we get a face-off.
Well, it's the kind of game a coach, a fan, a broadcaster would love to see every night. The Blues seemingly moving at will up and down the ice, and they have a big 6-1 lead. Boy, it's nice to watch. Well, folks, something else that's nice is saving on heating costs this winter. And you can do it with energy-saving Emerson ceiling fans from Metro Lighting, your source for high-quality lighting and home products. That's Metro Lighting. Harold Snepson joining on his 36th birthday. The Blues with a 5-goal lead. Courtnall scoring at 2:49 here in the second period. Paul Cavallini at 17:26. And yes, Al Iafrate is back into the action.
And the 6 goals the Blues have scored tonight, a season high. A minute to go in the period. 6-1 St. Louis. Blues have outshot the Leafs 19-4. Now Marois for the Blues clears it down the ice. And the Leafs skate back after it. Luke Richardson in behind his goal. Left it there. Brindamore in there. Forechecking. Centers to Gino Cavallini right in front of shot. And Ing made a glove save. Now Brindamore gets it. He was slashed by Iafrate. Brindamore cuts into the slot. Back to Marois. Shot. And Lowry tipped it wide. Delayed penalty called here on the Leafs. I believe Iafrate, who looked like a baseball player taking a swing at Brindamore. And he'll go off. And Ken, that's the kind of infraction that in my mind could warrant a 5-minute major. That's how hard he hit him.
There's no question about it. It's the kind of thing they are trying to see less of in the National Hockey League. The Blues just everywhere. I mean everywhere around the Toronto goal. And I am afraid he may be taking out his frustration as much as anything. 1932, the time of the 2-minute slashing penalty to Al Iafrate. The Blues power play, to say the least tonight, has been more effective. It hasn't scored a goal, but it has been more effective and organized and smooth than it was earlier in the season. That's something that the Blues coaching staff has worked long and hard on. And they have just had the puck and really moved it around and well. And it's a case as much as anything of everyone getting familiar with each other, especially integrating Scott Stevens for the most part into that Blues power play. And they have another one.
But Hall made a bad pass in his own end, and here's Francis Getty to center ice. In on right wing, but Jeff Brown got back and knocked it away. And the Blues, Stevens gets it, but Jeff Brown took a roughing minor behind the play. And that will even things up. 19:43 the time. So each team will be a man short. The Blues lead 6-1. By the way, there's a new book out that I'm sure Blues fans will be very interested in. It's called Six Shooters. It's about the Sutter family. It's available in St. Louis, and you can get your copy this Sunday at the Blue Note Sports Shop in West County from 1 to 2 p.m. And Rich Sutter will be there to autograph the book. That's from 1 to 2 this Sunday. You can purchase the new book out, Six Shooters, about the Sutter family. It should be very interesting.
Oh, it's quite a family, quite a story, and I know Brian was long anticipating the release of the book. A lot of time obviously spent on it, going back a while, and I know about a month ago he was saying, any day, I'm looking forward to seeing it, and the book is out and it can be yours.
Rich Sutter and a couple of his other brothers, not Brian, also own a hotel near Viking, Alberta. So those Sutters are branching into all kinds of things aside from hockey. Now 10 seconds left in the period. Puck at center. Leafs play it back in. Olczyk on right wing. Pokes it in deep, but that will do it. The end of the period. The Blues scored 2 more times and now lead 6-1 after 2 periods. And the Blues are very numerous here at Maple Leaf Gardens. 6-1 St. Louis. This is St. Louis Blues hockey. Now stay tuned for Rich Gould. He'll be back with the Bush Sports Break coming up.
When I was a boy, my mother always said, Vincent, you must not take things from the one you're playing with.
Lead pass to Marois. He's in alone. Right in a shot. Riendo, a big glove save. He took that one right away from Marois.
When I was growing up, I was always told, Brett, don't upset your playmates.
Here's Jeff Brown, a pass to Brett Hall. Shoots. He scores! Brett Hall!
Blues lead 6-1 as we get set for the third period. The Leafs have made a goaltending change. Mercilessly, Doug Carpenter has taken Peter Ing out of the game after he was zinged for 6 goals. And Jeff Reese is in nets. And we're set for the third period. Here's Ken Wilson.
And underway, both teams are short-handed. Iafrate and Brown are in the box. A shot by Lehman, good save by Joseph. And the puck ends up behind the Blues net. Scott Stevens has it on with Paul Cavallini, Hull, and Brindamore. Blues stopped in their own zone by Olczyk, on with Lehman. He takes a shot block. Lehman gets the puck. Quick wrist shot right on the save. And the puck cleared out and back inside the Toronto blue line. Goalie Jeff Reese slams it off the glass the length of the ice. Less than a minute to go in the Iafrate penalty. He'll come out before Jeff Brown. Here's Brindamore on the near right wing. Into the Toronto zone. Poke checked by Daniel Marois. Reese out of the net. Gives the puck to Dom Foose in front of the goal to Veach. Darren Veach up the middle of the ring. Right wing to Daniel Marois. He flips the puck right on. Joseph the save. It's centered by Veach and no one there for Toronto. Hall flies up the right wing, but Marois comes back to steal the puck. He leaves it at center ice for Veach. 2-on-2 with Dom Foose. Left wing to Dom Foose. He'll shoot and save by Joseph. He throws out his left leg. And the Blues, Brindamore clears the puck to center ice. Here's Brad Marsh, stick handling for Toronto. In over the line to Marois. Now to Dom Foose. Back for Marois, and Featherstone breaks up the play. Iafrate ready to come back on for Toronto. Puck behind the Blues net. Dom Foose goes down. And back on is Iafrate. Mario Marois for the Blues, up to Adam Oates, who avoids a check. Right wing feed too far for Hall. Both teams are changing. March up for Dom Foose. Leaves at their own line. Dom Foose check. Loose puck, and Francis Getty has it. He'll circle at his own line. Now to March. Over to Ramage. Jeff Brown back on. Both teams are at full strength. And Francis Getty wheels the puck in for Toronto. Mario Marois plays it up the right wing to Oates. Blues on the attack. Adam Oates over the line, drops it for Rich Sutter. A shot deflects wide of Reeves. Snep pins in, centers to Sutter. He's checked. Loose puck in the Toronto zone. Ramage and Snep's after it along the boards. They tie each other up. And referee Paul Stewart stops play. 2 minutes and 20 seconds into the third period, with the Blues leading it 6-1. Interesting, John Kelly, that in the first 2 periods, Brett Hall had 8 shots. Toronto had only 9.
Does that give you an idea of how much the Blues have dominated? Reese taking over in goal. He took over in goal the other night in New York in that 5-1 loss. He's played in 4 games this year. And Reese has an 0-2-1 record at 3.67 goals against average. And Ing must be very grateful to get out of this game. Earlier, Wendell Clark and Rich Sutter got involved. Behind that play, Lou Franciscetti was slashing at a couple of Blues players. So the Leafs could get very physical here in this third period, down 6-1.
It's Hannon and Wilson for the faceoff. And the puck ends up on the stick of Barahowski, the 18-year-old defenseman. Up for Clark. He's stopped. Paul Cavallini to Lowry in the corner for Wilson. Hannon gets in his way. Hannon goes down behind his own net. And Barahowski gets the puck up on the right wing. Toronto works to center ice. Mark Osborne drives it in. Joseph out of the crease, leaves the puck for Paul Cavallini. He wheels right in front of Joseph. Still in his own zone. Left wing to Lowry, the former Canuck. Carries into the corner. Barahowski doesn't check him. And Hannon intercepts the centering pass. He and Momesso fight for the puck, and Brad Marsh gets it deep in his own territory. Up the middle of the rink, an errant pass, and Scott Stevens gives the puck to Momesso. Back to Stevens. Blues in their own zone. They lead 6-1. Up to Lowry to the red line. Long shot wide. Comes right in front of the net off the end boards. Played nicely by Reese. The two teams are changing. Marsh ahead to Wendell Clark at his own line. Over to Iafrate. He'll shoot it in. Joseph again behind the goal, leaves the puck. Jeff Brown clears it up the wing, not out. Marsh keeps it in for Toronto. Behind the net to McGuire, centering by Reed to McIntyre, and he's too well covered. And the Blues come out to center ice, led by Ronnie. Into the zone to Stevens, and a wrist shot over the top of the net. Puck loose in the far corner. Scott Stevens to Ronnie behind the net. He spins away from McIntyre and then is tied up. That allows Brad Marsh to get the puck. 4 minutes into the third period. Marsh carries to the St. Louis line. Shoots the puck around the end boards, and on the far side at the right point, Iafrate with it. In the corner to Dave Reed. He's checked by Jeff Brown, and the puck comes loose to Herb Ragland. He's smothered to the boards by McGuire, and at center ice, Veach gets the puck. Now McIntyre and Ronning want to go at it at center ice, and McIntyre seems to fall down, and Ronning ends up on top of him. Cliff Ronning gets involved in a fight here at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, and that will not happen all that often anywhere.
Now we know it's a strange night, and Ronning did a pretty good job of taking McIntyre down, who had over 100 minutes in penalties last year in his rookie year. The Blues are romping here in Toronto. It's 6-1 St. Louis. This is St. Louis Blues hockey. Ronnie and McIntyre get a double minor for roughing at 4:17. Sure what Brian Sutter and assistant coach Bob Berry are saying behind the bench right now. Let's just get out of here, get on the charter home to St. Louis in one piece, because no question Doug Carpenter's Leafs have some fierce things on their minds here in the third period.
You just don't want to get anyone hurt. Lehman tries to move in for Toronto along the boards. A pass behind the net to Olczyk. He's unable to center. Mario Marois up for Hall too far. He's stopped by Veach. Puck still in the blue zone. Finally cleared out, and Ramage slaps it away from Hall. Gino Cavallini right in front of the Blues bench. Gets it ahead to Glenn Featherstone, who's had a good night. Now to Brindamore. He circles. To Marijuana. And too far ahead for Hall, and the puck ends up behind the Toronto net. 6-1. The Blues lead it in the third period. Brindamore intercepts. Gino Cavallini gets the pass. Shoots it wide. It's centered. Back for Paul Cavallini, and then poked away by his ex-Washington teammate Francis Getty. Blues go back. Featherstone gets the puck ahead to Hall. He works it on the left wing to Paul Cavallini. Into the Toronto zone to brother Gino. Quick shot. Blocked. Now behind the net, he centers for Brindamore, and it's tipped away, but Brindamore gets the puck, leaves it for Hall. Back to Paul Cavallini, into the corner to Gino. Gino Cavallini centers for Hall, and it's tipped away. Domfus on the attack for Toronto. Vincent Domfus unable to get around Sneps, who gets it ahead to Gino Cavallini at the end of a shift over the line on the left wing with Hall. The pass to Hall. He's taken to the boards by Luke Richardson. Toronto up to Domfus. One man back, Paul Cavallini. Domfus forced to the boards, finds some skating room into the slot, takes a shot, now shoots, blocked by Sneps. Good play by Sneps. Puck kept in by Barahowski. Over to Domfus, moving in front, takes a shot, can't get a shot, then Richardson's drive, stopped by Joseph. And the Blues have the puck in their own end, a long feed for Hall too far, and the Leafs play it in their own zone. Both teams are changing. Leafs stopped at center ice. Oates gets a breakaway. Oates moves in, fakes, backhand shot. He scores on a breakaway. Adam Oates. Adam Oates makes it 7-1 St. Louis. And for Adam Oates, his first goal of the season. Everybody gets in on the action tonight.
You and I could get our first goals of the year tonight, Mr. Wilson. Oates got a breakaway from the blue line in. He goes to his backhand. And Reese did not get over in time, and Oates gets number 1 at 6:17. Jeff Courtnall gets the only assist, and the Blues lead 7-1. Prior to this game, Oates had 7 assists, but no goals, and he gets number 1 tonight on a clear-cut breakaway. Kenny doesn't get very many breakaways, Oates doesn't, but when he does, he's a very smart hockey player, and he outsmarted Reese there.
16,009 unhappy fans for the most part. There are Blues fans here, but the majority are Leafs fans, and their team is down 7-1. Blues shoot the puck in. Leafs can't clear. Jeff Brown at the left point drives it into the far corner. Iafrate controls. He makes a nice move to get away from Momesso. Gives the puck to Hannon at the checkered red line. He'll flip it into the corner. Backcourt Jeff Brown, and there'll be a penalty. A penalty coming up, and it'll be Ragland getting the penalty, and then he and Wendell Clark are going to go. Clark wanted Adam in retaliation, and both dropped their gloves, tangle each other up, and not much comes of it between Herb Ragland and Wendell Clark. And Clark is a tough customer, and so is Ragland, but Clark definitely has a size advantage if the two were to go head-to-head. 6:17, the time of Oates' goal to make it 7-1 Blues. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Well, the professor must like what he sees tonight. As the Blues lead 7-1, Clark gets an extra minor, 4-high sticking. He and Ragland get fighting majors at 6:41. Maple Leaf Gardens, the site of many of Caron's tantrums, which he is infamous for, but Ron has been well behaved this year, has kept in control, but when your team's ahead 7-1, there's no reason to lose your cool.
Well, he likes to talk, and he's a great one to sit next to during a Blues hockey game. He has a lot to say. He throws his arms around. He is animated and colorful, besides being an outstanding general manager.
He has built a very good farm system. Scotty Bowman, who's now working for Pittsburgh, said a couple of weeks ago he's had a chance to scout a lot of the minor league teams, and he feels the Blues have as good a young talent as any team in the NHL, and Mr. Bowman should know.
No question, Teddy Hampson does a superb job, and the entire Blues scouting staff. And the future is well stocked, as is the present. Blues now have the man advantage. They already lead at 7-1. Neither team has a power play goal. Brett Hull at center ice leaves the puck for Stevens. On with Brown. Hull is joined up front by Courtnall and Oates. Here's Brett Hull. two outs. Into the Toronto zone. Checked by Reed, and Ramage clears the puck the length of the ice. Under 13 minutes to go in the third period. The Blues with a 7-1 lead, out shooting Toronto tonight 29-13. And these two teams go at it again tomorrow night at the arena. Blues stopped at center ice by Osborne. And he shoots the puck into the St. Louis zone. Francis Getty also up front for Doug Carpenter's team. Marsh and Ramage, the two veterans on defense, killing the penalty. And the Blues stopped in the neutral zone, and Ramage slams the puck back deep into St. Louis territory. 1:05 to go in the Blues power play. Jeff Brown left wing to Jeff Courtnall. Centers to Hall. He'll blast one right on, and Reese, the pad save, and he holds on for a whistle. Brett Hall in the slot. What's a howling drive go, and Reese makes the pad save, and Hall tonight had 8 shots in the first 2 periods.
And he came into the game with 31 shots and 7 goals. I remember last year in the first round knockout of the Maple Leafs, Hall had 5 goals, 5 assists, and 34 shots in 5 games. Nearly 7 a game. The Leafs did simply a terrible job against Brett Hull in the playoffs last year, and maybe an even worse job against him tonight.
He has 2 for 9 on the year, and of course much of the story of the playoffs last season was the way the Blues shut down Olczyk and Lehman in particular. And tonight Lehman and Olczyk are pretty well shutting themselves down. They are not doing much. They're on the ice here killing the penalty. Here's Paul Cavallini darting into the Toronto end. Ahead for brother Gino, now in the corner to Brind'Amour. Momesso behind the goal. He gets the puck. Sergio Momesso shovels it to the corner to Brind'Amour. Back to the left point. Paul Cavallini with it. Ahead for Brind'Amour. He's well covered by Iafrate. Here's Momesso. Checked behind the Toronto net. Trying to center from the corner. Gino Cavallini hit by Richardson. Gino Cavallini gets the puck again. Centers for brother Paul. Right point to Mario Marois. Shot blocked in front by Iafrate. 12 seconds to go in the Blues power play. Puck in the corner. Gino Cavallini has it, but play stopped. And there's going to be a holding penalty handed out. A holding penalty is going to be handed out here. And it'll be to the Maple Leafs defenseman, Al Iafrate. He has been familiar with the penalty box in this game. Still 8 seconds, by the way, to go in the penalty to Wendell Clark.
What he did was he grabbed Brind'Amour's stick. Brind'Amour lost his stick. Or did Iafrate? Iafrate lost his stick, and then he stole Brind'Amour's stick. And that is what you call holding. He pilfered a stick from Brind'Amour.
It's what you call clever, but you can't do it.
No. If you steal a man's stick, you get a penalty for holding. Well, I would like to remind fans to stop by their local McDonald's. I had a chance to stop by the Hampton Avenue McDonald's the other day, and I tried one of their McRib sandwiches. You know, it's too late to barbecue nowadays, and those McRib sandwiches are great.
How is that McRib better than the Big Mac?
I'd say
good?
I characterize it this way. It's just the opposite of a Brian Sutter practice. Not tough at all.
Oh, here are the Blues. 2-man advantage. He shoots and score. It's the hat trick for Brett Hull. From the left dot, Brett Hull gets his 3rd. The hat trick, his 6th career hat trick. And the Blues lead it 8-1. That power play goal coming on a 2-man advantage. Wow, what a night for Brett Hull and the Blues, and there's that patented smile.
His 7th career hat trick, his 6th with the Blues. He had 1 with Calgary, and he simply overpowered Reese, and he's got that Brett Hull smile. He is so calm and matter of fact. He takes things in stride, and sometimes, you know, Ken, I think that might be the better way to approach his sport and athletics in general. You can't take things too seriously.
He has an attitude that many people thought hurt him earlier, but now it really helps him. An easygoing attitude for Brett Hull. Now, Clark back. Iafrate still in the penalty box. Blues in over the line. Ronning with a puck. 8-1 Blues. Behind the net for Gino Cavallini. Looking to center. Tied up by Ramage. Brind'Amour there. He can't center. Marsh tries to get away from Ronning. Does, and sends the puck up to John McIntyre. His feed for Reed broken up, and the Blues control at center ice. They've owned this entire game. Ronning shot in. Grabbed by Ramage. He feeds the puck right wing to Dave Reed and over the line. He's unable to go around Paul Cavallini. The Blues on the power play. Up to Gino Cavallini into the Toronto zone. Off the boards behind the net to Ronning on the near side. Back to the right point to Jeff Brown. Now to Ronning. He'll shoot. Blocked by Marsh. Side of the net. Brindamore, a drive and a big save there by Jeff Rees on Rod Brindamore, bidding for his second goal here in this game. Well, the Blues have scored twice in the period. Oates from Courtnall at 6:17. Now Hall from Courtnall on the power play, a two-man advantage at 8:39. And there is the Golden Jet. Yes, he played for the Blackhawks. Bobby Hull.
And his son with a 3-goal night tonight. The Blues have 8 goals, the most they've scored since a 9-2 shellacking over Quebec last February 15th. And that night, Hull scored number 55, which set a Blues club record. So, sort of ironic, the Blues and Mr. Hull have a hand in 2 big wins.
Blues on the power play, controlling the puck in the Toronto end. Right point to Jeff Brown, to Courtnall along the near boards. Back to Jeff Brown, right circle to Courtnall, a shot, and Oates tips it just wide. Left point to Scott Stevens. Now to Hall, side of the net to Oates. He falls down, gets back up, leaves it for Courtnall behind the Leafs net. Out to Jeff Brown, over to Stevens. He'll let her go wide, off the end boards in front. And Francis Getty gets the puck and clears it down the ice. 23 seconds to go, and Al Iafrate's penalty. The Blues lead at 8-1 here in Toronto. 9:44 to go in the third period. Stevens on the rush, plays the puck into the Toronto end. Catches up with it. Along the near boards, back to the right point, nicely to the left point. In the middle for Courtnall, out of his reach. Here's Oates with a puck. Back to Stevens. The penalty just about up. Oates gets the puck along the blue line. Iafrate back on, over to Jeff Brown. Side of the net to Lowry, centering, and the Leafs tip the puck away, and Iafrate takes a pass, comes over the line against Featherstone, and is knocked down, can't get a shot. Into the corner goes the puck, and the Blues, Adam Oates has it. Nice pass ahead to Jeff Courtnall with Dave Lowry into the Leafs end. Pass behind the Toronto net, and Jeff Rees leaves the crease to play the puck. He's come on in the third period for Peter Ing. Now Thibodeau at center ice into the Blues zone. He's ridden out, and the Blues try to clear and can't. Intercepting Lehman. He'll take a shot. Oh, he blasts it wide. In front it comes. Osborne can't handle. Now centers. Lehman a shot. Oh, what a save by Joseph. Loose puck. And that one is knocked wide of the goal. And Mario Marois gets the puck for the Blues and shoots it the length of the ice. 8.5 minutes to go in this third period as icing is called against the Blues. 8-1, the Blues lead it here at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
I check for a living, and I've been checking out the deals at your Midwest GMC dealers. These Sonomas are a real score with the most powerful fuel-saver, fuel-injected engines in their class. With standard rear anti-lock brakes, wide sides, club coupes, 4x4s, they've got hundreds of them. Your Midwest GMC dealers, another reason why GMC trucks are #1. Check them out.
Only at Bellman GMC in North County, Bommarito GMC in Ellisville, and Brocklin GMC in Fairmount City, Illinois.
Blues lead 8-1. It was 4-1 after 1, 6-1 after 2. Oates and Hall have scored here in the third period. Hall has 3 goals tonight. Other Blues goals from Paul Cavallini, Jeff Courtnall, Cliff Ronning, and Rod Brindamore. But Joseph made a great save a few minutes ago on Gary Lehman, who has just 1 goal this year.
Lehman had 51 goals a year ago. He's on the right wing. Osborne on the left wing with Olchek. Both teams at full strength now. Face off in the Blues end. Sneps wins the draw. Actually, Wilson wins the draw, gets it to Sneps, and the Blues shoot the puck into the Toronto end. A lot of distractions around here, John. The fans seeming to lose interest in the game. Now the puck in the Toronto end, and Luke Richardson has it. Up for Osborne, broken up by Basson. Puck in the corner in the Toronto end. Barahowski checked by Ron Wilson. Then he takes down Luke Richardson, who gets back up and clears the puck all the way back into the Blues zone. Cleared into the corner. Lehman gets it out to Osborne. His shot hits the side of the net. Now Veach moves in, plays the puck behind the Blues goal. Olczyk in the corner. A pass behind the goal to Osborne, trying to center. Unable to initially, and then Sneps intercepts. Gives it away to Lehman. A shot blocked by Sneps. Gary Lehman behind the net to Olczyk in front of backhand shot. Now another shot, and they score. Mark Osborne. Mark Osborne, coming off his best season, 73 points a year ago, makes it 8-2 with that goal. And it comes with 7:35 to go in the third period.
He gets number 2 on the year, as the Blues were very sloppy in their own end. Olczyk had the puck side of the net, put it across, and then Osborne at a bad angle surprised Joseph, and that cuts the lead to 8-2. Olczyk and Lehman pick up the assists, but it won't make a whole lot of difference, my friends. It's still 8-2.
From the center ice face-off, the Leafs with a puck. Here's McIntyre trying to get around Stevens, and he can't. The puck loose at center ice. Ally Brady with it. He tries to shoot it in and is unable to, and now finally does. 8-2 Blues. We're talking about distractions. This crowd reacting to a rather well-endowed young lady sitting near the ice below us. Paying more attention to her than they have been to the game of late.
No wonder why the Leafs are losing so badly.
Puck along the near boards, tied up, and a whistle stops play. 7:01 to go. 8-2, the Blues lead it. This is St. Louis Blues hockey. Play resumes in the Blues zone. Blues can't get the puck out. Dom Foose centers to the slot, and Scott Stevens takes possession. Under 7 minutes to go. Blues lead at 8-2. They're stopped at center ice, and here's Vincent Dom Foose. On with McGuire and McIntyre. Now to Brad Marsh in the corner, moving up from the defense. Lowry on his back behind the Blues goal. And the puck comes loose to Cliff Ronnie. Ahead to Sergio Momesso. 2-on-2 at center ice with Jeff Brown, who takes the pass on the right wing. Over the line to Momesso. Into the corner, Momesso centers, and Jeff Reese swats the puck out to center ice. Blues have it. Brett Hull with a hat trick. Gets it in over the line to Momesso. Quick shot, and Reese a stick save. The Blues have outshot Toronto 33-15. Here's Dave Reed at center ice. Over the line. Can't get around the Blues defense, and the puck comes to center ice. A battle right in front of the penalty box below us for the puck. Hannon gets it. Ahead to Reed into the corner. He's bumped there by Featherstone. Now Brindamore comes in. Spins Hannon around. And the puck cleared by Mario Marois over the glass. And into the crowd, and there's 5:46 to go in the third period.
Well, when the Blues hit the road, you should head for the Post-Dispatch sports page. There's no better way to keep up with the hottest news on ice. For home delivery of the Post-Dispatch, call 622-7111. Let's pause here. 5 seconds for station ID. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
At Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, Ken Wilson along with John Kelly. Blues 8, Leafs 2, 5:46 to go in the third period. These two teams tomorrow night at the arena. There are seats still available, so come on out and join us. And remember that the Montreal Canadiens will be at the arena on Saturday night. Mark Osborne scoring the second goal for Toronto. Dave Reed scored their other goal in the first period. Brett Hull has the hat trick for the Blues. He has the puck. Quickly out of his own end, 2-on-2 with Gino Cavallini, who takes the pass. He's checked by Luke Richardson. And the Leafs take possession of the puck. Dave Reed. His rink-wide pass too far. Back for it is Glenn Featherstone. He pulls up behind his net. Sharp left wing pass. Tough for Gino Cavallini to take. Dom Foose has it in front to Francis Getty. And a pass is ahead of Hannon. He'll get the puck back to the left point. Luke Richardson's drive high. Heads up behind the net. Francis Getty centers, and Brindamore takes the puck. He feeds ahead to Hull. Both teams are changing players. Hull winds up at the blue line, and a shot off defenseman Berahauser, and it goes out of play. So that stops play with 5:01 to go in this third period. Brett Hull again with a hat trick tonight. Well, you Blues fans, when you've got a major thirst, don't just reach for a beer. Head for the mountains and the refreshingly smooth taste of Busch beer. Been a smooth night for the Blues tonight.
It sure has. In other news around the league, Ken, we heard today that Dave Manson of Chicago got a 4-game suspension for attacking Leaf defenseman Barahowski. And Paul Coffey apparently has signed a new contract, 5 years for $6 million.
He had wanted to get that new contract. He was unhappy that he had not been renegotiated last year as Mario Lemieux was by general manager Tony Esposito. But before it was taken care of, Esposito was fired by the Penguins. Here's Jeff Courtnall carrying into the Leaf zone, gives the puck to Rich Sutter. He's checked. Now Adam Oates, right point to Paul Cavallini, top of the circle, a shot turned aside by Reeves. And the puck comes to center ice where Harold Sneps has it. Over to Paul Cavallini. Ahead to Courtnall over the line. Stop, loose puck. Oates almost gets it alone in front of the net. Down to the corner, tries to center and can't. Rich Sutter behind the goal in front to Courtnall. A shot, and that's stopped. Paul Cavallini pinches in. Then loses the puck, and Thibodeau gets it out to Daniel Marois at the red line. To Vincent Damphousse into the Blues zone, trying to work his way in front. Can't. Forced to the boards where he's bumped by Courtnall. Then Damphousse after the puck in the corner, behind the net. Then it's centered for Thibodeau. He gets a shot. Oh, a big save by Joseph on Gilles Thibodeau. Then the Leafs dangerous center again, and no one there for Toronto, and the puck cleared out by Rich Sutter. The two teams are changing players. 3:40 to go, third period. Leafs at center ice. Brad Marsh checked by Ron Wilson. A battle for the puck. McIntyre gets it. Backs in over the line, is too well covered, and Wilson clears to center ice for St. Louis. Al Iafrate rifles the puck right back in. Blues with an 8-2 lead. Just over 3 minutes to go in the third period. Getting hemmed in a bit in their own zone. Can't get it out. Iafrate with a puck at the right point. Trying to get away from Bob Bassett. Having trouble. Knocked down. And play is stopped by referee Paul Stewart. 3:07 to go. The Blues with a big lead. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Bassett gets a hooking minor here at 16:53. And the Leafs will get a power play, their third of the game.
They've changed the goal, John. The Blues' 7th goal, the Adam Oates goal, which was a breakaway, and they've made the announcement. Now let's go back. Was it the 5th goal they changed? The Blues' 5th goal, not the 7th goal, but goal number 5 for the Blues, which was the Courtnall goal. So give Courtnall and Oates assists and give the goal to Rich Sutter. That was the goal that was the tip-in back at 2:49 of the second period. No matter who gets the goal, there are 8 of them tonight for the Blues. Again, shorthanded. Toronto sets up. Ramage at the right point. A screen shot, and that goes wide. Puck in the Blues zone. Left point to Richardson in the corner, and then there'll be a penalty handed out here. Paul Stewart stops play again, saying something to Ron Wilson of the Blues, and he may be getting penalized. 2:48 to go in the third period. The Blues are up 8-2. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Well, 34-year-old Ron Wilson gets a slashing minor at 17-12. The Leafs will have a 2-man advantage for 1:41. Blues lead 8-2. Blues penalty killing this year has been superb. Coming into the game, they were ranked 4th in the league at 85%. And the Leafs haven't scored in the power play tonight.
Here's a chance for Iafrate, and he shoots it wide, didn't get it all. Back to the right point to Iafrate. 2-man advantage for Toronto. Iafrate straight away from the blue line, a shot, and it deflects wide off Adam Oates. The puck comes back to Ramage at the left point. Left circle to Lehman. He'll shoot. That's stopped by Curtis Joseph, and the rebound goes just wide. Olczyk plays it to Iafrate. Straight away at the point to Ramage. Side of the net to Olczyk, centering, and it doesn't get through to Lehman. Blues can't clear. Ramage keeps it in with over 2 minutes to go in the third period. Here's a centering pass for Lehman, broken up, and Paul Cavallini shoots the puck down the ice. The Blues are still 2 men short for the next 55 seconds. They lead at 8-2. Ramage feeds Olczyk. He moves in along the right wing boards. Back to Iafrate. He'll let a shot go right on Joseph. The save, and Osborne scores on the rebound. The second goal tonight for Mark Osborne as the Leafs score a power play goal with a 2-man advantage here at 18:07 of the third period to make it 8-3 Blues.
Osborne did a good job. He went to the net as Iafrate's shot was stopped. and the Blues were just a bit too late. Marois and Stevens were on defense, and they were a shade too late in getting back. And Osborne scores number 3 on the year. Iafrate gets the assist, and Olczyk gets one as well. So it's 8-3.
And when you're trailing the opposition in manpower by 2 men, it's tough to cover everybody, and Osborne takes advantage. Less than a minute to go in the penalty to Ron Wilson. Leafs move in over the line. Ramage steers the puck behind the net. It's poked away from Dom Foose, but Clark gets it. Back to Iafrate at the right point. Up along the far boards to Clark. 5 skaters to 4, favoring the Leafs. They trail 8-3. Clark, right side, wrist shot. Saved by Joseph. Rebound loose in front. Another drive, another save. Marois of the Leafs is dumped, and Joseph holds the puck long enough to get a whistle to stop play with only a minute 18 to go here in the third period. Well, tonight on Night Court, Matt goes back to college, but he soon finds that today's co-eds know more about anatomy than they do academics. That's Night Court tonight after Family Ties on St. Louis 11 KPLR TV.
That last Toronto goal, Osborne is third from Iafrate and Olczyk at 18:07. About the only thing the Leafs have done well tonight is play a little bit better here in the third period. The goals are even at 2 apiece, but this one was long over back in the first period.
Blues are shorthanded, just over a minute to go in this game. They get the puck in their own end. Paul Cavallini clears it out, knocked down by Ramage's high stick. And as Iafrate touches it, the whistle stops play. At Minnesota, the North Stars lead the Whalers 2-0 late. Montreal with a 7-1 lead over the Islanders. Al Arbor's team a tough start. And in Winnipeg, the Jets lead the Oilers 2-0.
Brett Hull with 3 goals tonight has led the Blues. You know, Ken, there's one misconception about the Leafs. They're off to a terrible start, only 1 win, but it really goes back to last year when they had a bad finish. The Leafs were 3-6-1 in their last 10 regular season games. They lost in 5 games in the playoffs to the Blues. So counting the playoffs and the end of last year, the Leafs in their last 24 games have only 5 wins, but it stems from last year.
Here are the Leafs at center ice. Wendell Clark trying to move in Kent, and the Blues clear it away. Less than a minute to go in the game. Ron Wilson ready to come back on the ice. He does. Blues back at full strength. Clark works in over the line for Toronto, then wrestles Bob Basson, and there'll be a penalty coming up. Wendell Clark will pick up the penalty with only 38 seconds to go in this Blues victory as they lead it 8-3. And a chance to check. The 3 stars of tonight's game are Bush 3 stars. The number 3 star is Rod Brindamore. The number 2 star, Gino Cavallini. And the number 1 star with a hat trick is Brett Hull. And there have to be a lot of honorable mentions tonight, Jeff Courtnall being one of them. He's had a lot of points in this game, as has Brett Hull. The Bush number 1 star in this one.
Hull has 4 points tonight. 3 goals and 1 assist. Courtnall has 3 assists. And Hull leads the club in scoring. Now with 13 points. Courtnall in second spot with 11. Oates in third position. And Oates does have 1 goal tonight and 1 assist.
Clark gets the 2-minute minor. So the Leafs are shorthanded. Here's a long shot by Richardson from his own zone. Right on, and Joseph makes the save. 23 seconds to go. 8-3 Blues. At center ice, Adam Oates moves in over the line, is stopped, and Brad Marsh clears the puck the length of the ice. And well over half of the crowd here at Maple Leaf Garden tonight is long gone. Mario Marois out of his own end to Ronning too far. Marsh breaks it up. 5 seconds to go. Puck shot into the Blues end. McIntyre for Toronto, unable to center. And that's it. It's over in Toronto. The Blues, who were 0-4 here at Maple Leaf Gardens a year ago in the regular season, win big tonight, led by Brett Hull. The question is, how long can Doug Carpenter last as coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs? They are now 1-8-1. The Blues, with a victory in front of Curtis Joseph, now are 5-3-1 on the year with 11 points. And these two teams meet tomorrow night at the arena in St. Louis. The final score again tonight, the St. Louis Blues 8, the Toronto Maple Leafs 3. We'll return to the Garden in Toronto in just a moment. This is St. Louis Blues hockey. 8-3 is the final tonight here in Toronto as the Blues soundly defeat the Maple Leafs, who have won only one game all season. Welcome back to the Garden in Toronto. The Blues now are rolling. They are undefeated in their last 4, 3 victories, and the 1 tie Saturday night against Minnesota. Now it's home tomorrow night against Toronto and Saturday night against the Montreal Canadiens. You can't say anything but that the Blues played very well tonight, John.
They did. Right from the outset, they grabbed the 3-0 lead. Toronto got a fluke goal, got back close, but Ken, there's no question that this Toronto team is a far cry from what we saw last year when they beat the Blues 7 of 8 in the regular season. They scored 340 goals in the regular season. They were a fun team to watch last year. They showed a lot of zip, but they are in the doldrums right now, no question about it.
We go back to General Manager Floyd Smith's comment late this afternoon. Don't learn too many of our players' names because they're going to be a lot different players, a lot different look to this team in a week, and I think everyone here in Toronto suspects that big changes are coming. They criticize Floyd Smith for not making moves, but I think he's ready to move.
I think he better do something because this team, without a quote, I don't know if you want to use the word quit if they've done that to Doug Carpenter, but they're not playing for him. In the papers today, they outlined a 10-point plan how to improve the Leafs. They better pick one of those points and get going in a hurry because they could be out of the playoffs before Christmas.
And the Blues, very much in the playoff picture, very much in the hunt for a regular season Norris Division championship, and certainly aided by a big 8-3 victory tonight here at the Garden in Toronto over the Maple Leafs. Our next telecast on KPLR TV, Channel 11, coming up November the 8th. We'll be in Pittsburgh as the Blues meet the Penguins. That telecast will start at 6:30 Central Time. The next broadcast on KMOX Radio tomorrow night from the arena as the Blues meet the Maple Leafs. The pregame show at 7:20 and the game broadcast at 7:30. For John Kelly, this is Ken Wilson. Thanks for joining us here in Toronto tonight. And once again, the final score, the St. Louis Blues 8 and the Toronto Maple Leafs 3. St. Louis Blues hockey has been a presentation of Bud Sports through the facilities of KPLR TV and KMOX Radio. Folks, now stay tuned for St. Louis 11 News with Don Clark and Christine Buck. Rich Gould will have the sports highlights, and Mark Ferree will have the weather forecast. That's all coming up next on St. Louis 11 News.
Hall in left wing, right in a shot. He scores! Brett Hall! Down to Brett Hall, back to Brindamore. To Brown, drive. He scores! Jeff Brown! By one-handed, across the lead line and drive. He scores!
St. Louis Blues hockey has been brought to you by Busch Beer. Head for the mountains of Busch. By Southwest Airlines, providing frequent flights and low unrestricted fares to many exciting destinations. By your Midwest GMC truck dealers, Bellman, Bomarito, and Rockland GMC. By your local McDonald's restaurants. Stop by for great food, folks, and fun. By Shop and Save. The more you shop, the more you save. By AutoZone, the best part in auto parts. By Allstate, for home, auto, life, and business, you're in good hands with Allstate. By Discover Card, it pays to discover the card that pays you back. And by Hardee's, all kinds of